Hey guys, HellsF1rst here, back with another Corepunk video. Tonight we're on part 3, episode 3 I should say, of the Alumio's Wiki series. So if you don't know yet, this man put up 19 different parts of everything you can possibly imagine on everything we know in the game now, and I'm going over every single one of them just so you guys don't have to read them. And because, hey, it's fun. This guy knows his shit. So, we're going to move on to the third portion here, which is artifacts and weapons. Now, he also said it includes some info that was in the previous section that related more to this section than the previous section. So, we're going to start it off with artifacts and weapons is where you get the majority of your character's stats from. You can have up to 6 artifacts equipped. Artifacts are not visible on the character, and they can have none or one skill in them, and they can be used by all characters and classes. Now, this is pretty awesome because it essentially allows you to make your character look however you want, with the artifacts not taking up those stat areas because the gear you wear won't do anything but make you look a certain way. Fabulous, as they say in the trailer. But it will allow you to completely set your character up, and it looks like because they can be used by all, there's going to be some pretty crazy class combinations that are going to be put together with artifacts no matter what character it is. You could literally make anybody anything as they specified throughout the game. It's going to be incredible. Then we got weapon types are tied to specific subclasses and are highly valuable. For example, Champion Ranger is the only subclass that can equip two-handed bows, which is going to be amazing, absolutely amazing, because there's going to be literally best in slot weapons. And I'm curious what exactly there's going to be for each champion, I should say, subclass, I should say. Spec, because it's going to be a huge diverse range depending on what you're going to be playing. I'm excited for it. Then we got weapons or visual as well. Your equipped weapon is shown in your character model, which is nice, but I'm sure running around you'll be able to see it as well. I'd hope so anyways, not just in the character model on like when you pop the screen up to see what you're wearing, but I'm sure it means all of it. Another direct quote here. Questions. Are there going to be artifact sets? Like if you get 3 of a set and get a bonus stat? And the answer was yes. We will have sets with bonus stats, not only stats, which is like many a games that are out there. One of the biggest known games that would have this in effect is Diablo. You know, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, they had mammoth set bonuses if you could get these big old sets. Pretty awesome when you completed them because it made it a much stronger set of gear versus just each individual component. Then we got there's rarity, and rare items have higher stat. There's soft cap, hard cap, and diminishing on some stats. This is a pretty bad quote, or it was translated in a horrible way, but we know soft cap and hard cap on stats and diminishing on some of them depending. Then we got another question answer quote. Are most items unique, or are they randomly generated using an item level system? And the answer is randomly generated, but guided random, which I'm sure means, okay, this piece right here is going to have intelligence and strength on it, but we don't know which one of them is going to be higher or lower. Or maybe it's got 6 possible rolls and you're only going to get 2 of them. Kind of like the Destiny roll system where you're just looking for that god roll over and over and over again until you finally get it. But you know that you have a chance because it only has 200 different possibilities versus 1,000,000 if it was just whatever on anything. Now, I've heard that's one of the big drawbacks to that new game Outriders is everything drops off everything. And that kind of takes out the want to do anything besides the easiest content. So, another quote here. You may gain blinks with artifact abilities or speed buffs, which is pretty sweet. I'm guessing blinks is like a teleport. There will be various active skills on artifacts. We'll have utility skills, skills that increase the survival rate, as well as skills that increase or deal damage. This is fucking cool. I can't wait to see what you can create based on just the 6 artifacts alone, especially since they say you can use the skills versus the normal ones you start with. Incredible. Some weapons can modify skills. Additionally, some weapons will also have unique specialization-specific skills. We already knew this, but still, awesome. Another direct quote, artifacts drop with random characteristics. In order to get an artifact with the desired characteristics, you will need to farm them. I just can't say characteristics over and over and over again, apparently. This just comes back to the one we had earlier, just as I was talking about roll until you get that god roll. Another quote, chance for an artifact to drop with an ability depends on the artifact and varies greatly. In order to get the artifact with the needed stats and the needed ability, you will need time and luck. Which just goes right back on what we were just talking about. If you choose an artifact with an active ability, then you sacrifice some other stats on this artifact, which is obvious. You're going to lose a stat to have the ability, and you're going to have to weigh between the two, but I'm sure give it a month and we'll know exactly what you want to have on each piece. It's just going to be, it's the meta. It happens. Until they nerf some shit, it's going to happen. Another quote, the active abilities on the artifacts will play a significant role, but of course they will not be as strong as the main hero's abilities. Which is nice to know. Your main abilities are still going to be the strongest. Top-end artifacts acquired from PvP, PvE, and crafted will have equivalent power levels. We already knew it. You can make it with the best gear no matter which path you choose. There are legendary artifacts, also something I'm pretty sure we already knew. If you didn't, now you do. You'll have a chance to get a legendary item from each patch. PvP, PvE, and crafting. But it won't be easy. Each patch. I'm assuming that means with each patch they add to the game? I don't know. That kind of sends me for a loop here. I'm sure I'll either have it answered for me later on down in here, or one of you guys can let me know in the comments section. Either way, I'm curious. Another quote. There will be legendary weapons and artifacts, some of which only less than a dozen of players will be able to receive. This is going to be awesome. That means it's going to be the world's firsts on raids, on dungeons. That's going to be my guild, Legions of Darkness. We're going to be one of the ones to do this. We will be that dozen of players on the entire server. Just watch. Then we have legendary items have no limits, just extremely hard to obtain. I'm guessing that means you can have as many of them as you want. Legendary items will offer stat boosts beyond those of epic items. Legendary items will also have unique skills and effects. That's also pretty sweet. Epic, I'm sure, is going to be great, but a legendary item is just going to be godly. And they have fixed stats, so you don't have to roll for that random god roll. You just got to roll for that legendary, which is way fucking harder, I'm sure. Another direct quote, the majority of the game's best items will not be transferable. They will be bound to a hero when crafted or picked up. This is the majority of most games anyway, so I'm sure we all came into this expecting this. Another direct quote, it'll be possible to order a crafted item from another player through a special order window, making it possible to offer crafting as a paid service. Remember that crafting nearly any item in Corepunk requires a recipe. Most recipes are bind on pickup. Some recipes are very rare, making them highly profitable for their owners. And also, when placing an order for a crafted item, the materials are always provided by the customer. Also, when placing an order, the customer can use BOP items needed for crafting. Now, this is something that I actually got specified by the devs during a live chat with the developers last month. And it was something I had been wondering forever, because this is huge. Because that means that you can trade the bind-on pickup materials through the crafting window and not have to have that recipe to be able to make it, because that would just be a nightmare. But they did it the right way. Another quote, the best crafted items will require players to farm bind-on pickup resources. Just goes with what we said. Some items will be bind-on pickup or bind-on equip. We already knew. Then the last quote question of the night would be, for example, the defender and his one-hand shield and one-hand sword, one weapon type, or separate items, meaning you could equip different shields while keeping the same sword. And the answer was these are separate items, can be equipped separately. This right here is awesome, especially since I think the defender is going to be the best tank. Personally, that's my opinion, but being able to customize one-hand shield and one-hand sword, which whatever two you want, just gives them a leg up. I'm excited for it. So this has been the third episode, the third part, third section of Alumio's Wiki, and I hope you guys got some good information out of it. We'll be back again with episode 4 here shortly, and as always, I'm HellsF1rst, and until next time, ta-ta.